What's going on, everyone? This is Dalton over at CycleMax in Wilson, North Carolina, and today I am inside the dealership, not outside like you typically see me, but I want to talk to y'all a little bit about starter or beginner bikes today. We're going to go through a couple of the different styles of starter bikes that we have here and what, in my opinion, makes them a good starter bike and what to really be looking out for. So let's take a look into some of them. Alright, so we're going to start here with your sport bike style beginner bike. This is the Honda CBR 500R. So it's modeled to look very similar to their 600s to their 1000s. Now, some people are asking, well, why can't I start out on a 600 or a 1000? You can. I personally don't recommend it. Why? They have an absurd amount of power to them. The 600s and 1000s are built to be fast, and some people want that. But as an inexperienced rider or just starting out, that kind of power, in my opinion, you don't really need it until you learn how to ride the proper way. This still gives you the look and the feel of a sport bike. You're still going to be able to get up to speed fairly quickly. You're going to be able to get out on the highways. You're not going to be left in the dust by any means, but it is also, in my opinion, a lot safer. Now, this with the 500s, you're going to have a little bit more of an upright seated position compared to your 600s or your 1000s. You're still going to be a little crouched over. You can still tuck it in real nicely on this, but it's, in my opinion, again, a little bit more comfortable of a seating position. It gives you a really good idea how to learn, how to lean, how to really hit the curves, and so on and so forth without having to deal with the insane amount of torque and top end speed that you're going to find in your 600s and your 1000s, but you still get everything else out of it that you would be looking for in those bikes. Now we're going to shift over to your naked style or standard type bikes. This is a Kawasaki Z400. Now, a couple other brands are going to also make similar bikes to this, your naked styles. What the nice thing is about this kind of bike, it's a little bit more lightweight than your sport bike. So compared to that CBR 500, you're going to be shaving off a little bit of weight here, which losing that weight makes the bike lighter, more balanced, easier to maneuver around, and it's going to give you a better feel for how you like to ride. I personally like this. This is a more upright seated position as well. It's a very comfortable seating position. You hug the tank really nicely. Gives you a lot of space of where you're wanting to sit, and you're still getting a good bit of power out of this to, again, hit those highway speeds, keep up with some buddies, and not have to worry about being left behind. Now, moving over to this cruiser type category. With this Honda Rebel 300, this is kind of like a naked style cruiser. Now, we've talked some about power, we've talked about weight and balance and your seating position. With a cruiser, it's a completely different seating position than your standard or sport bike types. But what else are you kind of looking for in a starter bike? Reliability and gas mileage. Most of these bikes are going to give you an incredibly good gas mileage, and with Honda, they're top of their game when it comes to reliability on their motorcycles. Now, sticking with the cruisers here, I've got a Kawasaki Vulcan S, another great starter bike that's going to give you a little bit more power when it comes to a cruiser without being an overabundance of torque and top speed, but it's still going to get you where you need to go and fairly quickly. The Kawasaki Vulcans have always been a super comfortable riding bikes, and the best thing about all of the bikes that we've looked at today is they're all under $10,000. That is something to highly research and look into with finding your first bike. It is called a first bike for a reason. You don't need to go spend $15,000, $16,000, $20,000 on your first bike. This is going to get you to where you want to be in the future. Now, to wrap things up, I'm over here at the parts counter. Why is that? Because your parts and accessories guys are going to be your absolute best friends when it comes to finding you the best gear for you to get out there on the road. Something that is very commonly overlooked for beginner riders and even experienced riders for that matter is a good rated helmet, a good riding jacket, leathers or riding jeans, boots, gloves, you name it. You want to make sure you're protected out there on the road. And on top of that, you can protect your bike in certain ways. I highly recommend frame sliders. So if something were to happen where your bike goes down, that bike isn't going to take really too much of a hit. So these are things that, again, are super commonly overlooked, and it is not something that everyone really wants to talk about that is a rider, but it is a reality. So we want to make sure you're safe, because that is the number one priority when getting out there on two wheels. With that being said, we'd love to see you come on into the store over here at CycleMax in Wilson, North Carolina. Give us a call, 252-291-2121, or visit us online at cyclemaxwilson.com. And if you're needing some of that gear or parts, check us out at cyclemaxparts.com. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see you soon.